Many extraction shooters have come and gone. Some have laid claim to the crown, and notably Embark's Arc Raiders. However, the original, which started it all and has been in development since 2012, is finally emerging from the closed beta trenches. We're of course talking about Battlestate Games Escape from Tarkov, a PvEvP extraction shooter set in the titular fictional city that's deteriorated into anything goes no man's land. Launching on November 15th, version 1.0 will add the finishing touches to the release and even mark the game's arrival on Steam. What can you expect, and how does this massive update cap off years of support? Let's dive into all of it. The Innovator. So by now, you know the basic gameplay loop of extraction shooters, and Escape from Tarkov is no different. You get into one of the many maps, and more coming at launch, which we'll get into in a minute, collect resources, fight off enemies and other players, and then try to leave. Failure to do so means everything on your person, save for a few items stored in a safety slot, is gone. What sets Tarkov apart? However, Tarkov offers a bit more on top of this. Each body part on your character takes separate degrees of damage, resulting in deliberate side effects. Fractured your legs? Enjoy 45% reduced movement speed, no sprinting, and lower jumping height. You can even suffer negative ailments like bleeding, muscle pain, concussion, and more, which require treatment. There's also a flea market for buying and selling items to other players, and even a PvE-only mode for those who don't care for PvP. Realism and new weapons. The other major component of Tarkov is the realistic gunplay, where bullet drop, penetration, and even ricochets need to be accounted for. There are over 100 weapons, excluding melee tools, and version 1.0 is adding even more, including the Colt M16A1 assault rifle, the DS Arms RPD light machine gun, the Scorpion Visor 82 SMG, and many more. New attachments. Of course, you can also customize guns to your liking with different ammo types and attachments. The sheer amount of options is pretty nuts, and you guessed it, there's going to be even more at launch, including new handguns and optics. Maps and terminal. From the lighthouse and its neighboring homes to the theme park that is the Labyrinth and the origin point that is Ground Zero, Tarkov has a pretty extensive range of maps. The beta offers 11 in total, with a 12th terminal to be added in 1.0. Since these are all areas within Tarkov, is there any chance of seeing them connected into one giant map? Battlestate Games is planning for the same, but it won't be ready for the full release, unfortunately. Campaign. Believe it or not, Tarkov has a story, and while beta players have all been busy with side quests all these years, the full campaign will be coming to version 1.0. For now, all that's known is that you're on a mission to, well, escape from Tarkov, and that means scrounging about the environments, fighting off scavs, and collecting enough resources without dying. Maybe you'll survive, maybe not, and surprisingly, that factors into multiple endings. Escaping from Tarkov may be the core objective, but it's by no means the only conclusion to your journey. 4 endings exist, and it's confirmed that the so-called best ending will be very difficult to achieve. Battlestate estimates that about 20% of players will reach it, making us wonder if it has something to do with the amount of playtime required, if not the inherent skill of the person in question. By that measure, what does a bad ending look like? Going back to beta? I digress. Potential seasonal and permanent characters. Wipes in extraction shooters can be a touchy subject, especially when it comes to leveling the playing field. And while Tarkov is no stranger to the same, the development team has talked about potentially introducing seasonal and permanent characters. The former is subject to wipes, resetting to 0 with each new season, while the latter continues progressing. It wouldn't be all that different from, say, Path of Exile, and may even serve as a nice way to introduce items and mechanics exclusive to that season as an incentive to play. A few new tricks for the cheating problem. Cheating has been an ongoing problem for years, to the point where PvE is now viewed as a haven. The developer has teased a few new tricks up our sleeve for the game's release to deal with the issue in an interview with PC Games N, but also acknowledged that it's a never-ending race. Keep that in mind if competitive integrity, even in the world of ganking and betrayals, is important. Repurchasing and reinstalling to play on Steam. So you've supported the game through its many ups and downs through the many years of beta testing, and you're excited to play on Steam. Well, bad news. You need to buy it again. Linking your Battlestate account will carry over any progress made, including achievements, but prepare to pony up the cash. If that wasn't enough, you'll need to reinstall the game to play on Steam. Pre-order and beta rewards. Those purchasing any version of the game will receive 2 clothing sets, a PMC dog tag, a shooting target, mannequin poses, and other rewards. But if you picked up Unheard and EOD editions, you'll receive a battle-worn Gamma container, a hideout style called Forgotten, and the Ace of Spades shooting target. Unheard edition owners get even more rewards, again, all cosmetic. System requirements. Throughout the years, you might have heard that the performance isn't quite ideal. In terms of recommendations for 1.0, Steam lists Windows 10 64-bit and an AMD Ryzen 5 3600 or similar, 16GB of RAM and a GTX 1660 or similar at the very minimum. The recommended requirements? You might want to sit down for this one. First is Windows 11 64-bits, so far, so blah. Next is a Core i7-14700F or better, 64. Yes, 64GB of RAM and an RTX 4070 or better. First DLC focuses on the scav life. While 1.0 marks a huge milestone, it's by no means the stopping point. Tarkov will be expanded even further with DLC. Paid or free is currently unknown, with the first focusing on scav life. Some more lore and content tied to the faction, perhaps with a new way to experience scavenger raids. Anything is possible, so the wait is on for more details. Years of post-launch support confirmed. But it doesn't, and potentially can't, stop there, as Battlestate has about 5 years of post-launch content planned. If you followed Tarkov for any amount of time, you probably heard about content that's been planned but still subject to change, be it new locations, modes, or features. It's all quite nebulous, and the amount that could make it to 1.0 or sometime thereafter as post-launch content is unknown. Nevertheless, the development team is adamant about sticking with the game for the long term, rather than working on a sequel. Console releases. Oh, and for those who can't be bothered to deal with the obscenely high PC requirements, Escape from Tarkov is also coming to consoles. When? That's the million-dollar question. Besides whether it will offer cross-platform and cross-progression, and Battlestate Games didn't offer much beyond confirmation of development. So while the wait ends for one era, with the release of 1.0, another begins. Hey, did you know that we at GamingBolt upload new videos every day? Stick around, drop a like, subscribe, and hit that bell. And let us know what kind of content you'd like to see in the future with a comment below.